Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
Felix Sater, businessman linked to Trump, claims to have been U.S. spy. A Russian-born businessman with ties to President Donald Trump claims to have been a spy working with American intelligence for more than 20 years, according to a statement a spokesman said he provided to government investigators. Felix Sater said in the statement that he provided extraordinary assistance to our government involving serious matters of national security, posing tremendous risks to my safety and the safety of my family. Sater has been drawn into the investigations into Russian meddling in the 2016 election, which are being spearheaded by Special Counsel Robert Mueller and several congressional committees, because of his apparent ties to potential Trump business deals in Russia. In emails that were reported by the Washington Post last year, Sater appeared to try to convince Trump in 2015 to develop a Trump Tower in Moscow and to visit Russia. He also alleged that he could convince Russian President Vladimir Putin to say great things about Trump, the Post reported. But in his statement, which was first reported by Buzzfeed, Sater, who once went to prison over a bar fight and later struck a deal with the U.S. government to avoid jail time in an unrelated incident, said he had been working for U.S. agencies since the age of 31. He said he provided crucial intelligence information and assistance to numerous U.S. national security, intelligence and law enforcement agencies, listing a wide range of services such as providing personal satellite telephone numbers for Osama bin Laden in the 1990s. He also claimed to have provided information on Al-Qaeda after the September 11, 2011 attacks and on North Korean military operatives. Buzzfeed said it was able to confirm some of these exploits, Politico has not. I was honored to have been given the opportunity to serve my country, as well as the chance to redeem myself, both of which I enthusiastically embraced, Sater said in the statement. Till the day I die, I stand ready to serve my country that I love. God bless America. Sater told Buzzfeed he was still involved in business and had emailed the Trump Organization in 2015 in hopes of helping with a deal. But, he told the news organization, he did not actually know Putin. Trump pushes support for Sakonia a day before election. President Donald Trump on Monday reinforced his endorsement for Rick Sacconi a day before Pennsylvania's special election while at the same time criticizing Sacconi's opponent as being allied with Nancy Pelosi. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette just endorsed Rick Sacconi for Congress. He will be much better for steel and business. Very strong on experience and what our country needs. Lamb will always vote for Pelosi and Dems, will raise taxes, weak on crime and border, the president tweeted Monday morning. Sacconi has been viewed by some in his party as a lackluster candidate, and has struggled despite Trump winning the district by nearly 20 points during the 2016 election. The Post-Gazette's editorial board on Sunday endorsed Sacconi. The endorsement said the state representative has a wealth of experience and an intimate knowledge of much of the district, because he has represented a part of it in the legislature. He is a good fit for the district and would be an effective representative for it from his first day on the job, according to the endorsement. Trump also expressed support for Sacconi on Saturday during a rally in Pennsylvania. He urged rally attendees to go out on Tuesday and vote like crazy and said, "We need Republicans in office." The president also blasted Lamb at the rally by saying that he is trying to act like a Republican but will not side with the GOP once in office. Tillerson says plans for North Korea meeting in the very early stages. The United States has yet to hear from North Korea after President Donald Trump accepted an invitation to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un last week, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Monday. "We have not heard anything directly back from North Korea, Although we do expect to hear something directly from them, Tillerson said during a press conference in Nigeria. South Korean officials last Thursday announced that Trump accepted North Korea's invitation. The White House said the meeting would only happen if North Korea agreed to avoid any missile testing and did not object to U.S. South Korea joint military exercises. Tillerson said discussions on the scope of the meeting are still in the very early stages and several steps will be necessary to agree on a location. I know those are all questions people are anxious to have answers to. I would say remain patient, and we'll see what happens, he said. When pressed on the location of the meeting, Tillerson said no agreements have been reached. I don't want to start floating ideas out through the media, he said. I think it's going to be very important that those kind of conversations are held quietly between the two parties. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders on Monday afternoon said that officials expect the meeting will happen. We fully expect that it will, she said during the White House daily press briefing. The offer was made and we accepted. North Korea made several promises and we hope that they would stick to those promises. If so, the meeting will go on as planned. Sanders added that preparations are continuing on a number of levels. Most of that is in inner administration, an interagency process, and I'm not going to get ahead of any of the details of the where, the when or any of that here today, she said. Poll Democrat Lamb leads in Ma. Special election. Pittsburgh, Democrat Connor Lamb heads into the final day of the special congressional election in western Pennsylvania with the lead, according to a new public poll released Monday. Monmouth University used 3 different turnout models ahead of Tuesday's special election and Lamb has the advantage in all 3 of them. Lamb is squaring off against Republican Rick Saccone, a state legislator and Air Force veteran in a traditionally blue-collar district that backed President Donald Trump by 20 points in 2016. They're competing to replace GOP Representative Tim Murphy, who resigned in October. Lamb leads Saccone, 51% to 45%, the poll shows, using a turnout model that mirrors a Democratic surge that's appeared in other special elections throughout the last year. 3% of likely voters are undecided, and 1% would support another candidate. A Monmouth poll released in mid-February, using the same model, found Saccone with a slight edge, 49% to 46%. The poll suggests Lamb can win even if that Democratic surge falls short, however. In a more restrictive turnout model, designed to mirror a lower turnout electorate that typically votes in midterm elections, Lamb has a slim, 2-point lead, 49% to 47%. A higher turnout scenario, more similar to a presidential election, produces a 7-point Lamb lead, 51% to 44%. When added to a potential Democratic surge that has been building for weeks, Lamb appears to have picked off enough Republican-leaning voters to take a lead going into this contest's final weekend, said Monmouth University pollster Patrick Murray. It would mark an extraordinary swing from Trump's nearly 20-point victory here in 2016 if he could hold on to win. Lamb, a former federal prosecutor, is running as a centrist Democrat. He has called for new leadership in both parties and said he would oppose Nancy Pelosi as leader. Saccone has frustrated national Republicans with his lackluster fundraising, which has forced outside groups like Congressional Leadership Fund and the National Republican Congressional Committee to dump more than $10 million into the district. Republicans used that money to accuse Lamb of being aligned with Pelosi and to attack his tenure as a federal prosecutor. In Citizens United and Vote Vets, both progressive groups, gave Lamb some cover on TV ads, totaling $600,000. Despite the barrage of attack ads, Lamb's negatives haven't ticked up significantly over the past few weeks, according to the poll. A majority of likely voters, 53%, have a favorable impression of Lamb, compared to 33% who view him unfavorably. Last month, Lamb's image rating stood at 49% favorable, versus 31% unfavorable. Fewer voters, 47%, have a favorable opinion of Saccone, and 43% view him unfavorably. The Monmouth poll was conducted March 8 to 11, with most of the interviews coming before Trump's rally last Saturday night in the district. But the poll indicates Trump's backing of Saccone may be a wash for the Republican nominee. Voters are evenly split on Trump. 49% approve his job performance, and the same percentage disapprove. The proportion of likely voters who strongly approve of Trump's job performance, 39%, and strongly disapprove, 41%, are also nearly identical. At Saturday's rally for Saccone, Trump touted his recent decision to impose tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum. But voters in the district aren't convinced. 43% think the tariffs will help the local economy, compared to 36% who think they will hurt. And virtually every voter surveyed, 96%, said the tariff decision hasn't caused them to change their choice of candidate. 3% said the tariffs make them more likely to vote for Saccone, while 1% said they are more likely to vote for Lamb. Voters are divided on the potential impact of tariffs. It doesn't seem that the president's gambit paid off in this race if that was his intent, said Murray. Still, he noted that the poll was taken largely before the rally and we don't have a clear picture of what impact that might have. A Saccone victory is still well within the poll's margin of error, Murray said, especially if a Democratic surge does not materialize in the Pittsburgh suburbs. The poll surveyed 372 likely voters, contacted via a list of voters in the district who have participated in at least one of the last 4 primary or general elections, plus recent registrants, and has a margin of error of plus or minus 5.1 percentage points. Stephen Shepard contributed to this report from Arlington, Virginia.